Lagos mainland had many types of people: busy people, loud people, hustling people, and those who simply floated through life day by day. But there was only one group of people who earned a certain kind of respect: the trustworthy ones. And among all the trustworthy faces in Ojodu, none shone brighter than Marian Adeyemi. At just 24, she had already built a reputation that some 40-year-olds envied. She was the kind of person people described with one line that meant everything: "If you give Marian money, sleep peacefully." It began 3 years earlier when her aunt, a pepper seller, asked her to keep 5,000 Nigerian nairas for her until January. Marian kept it, returned it exactly on the date requested, complete, clean, and even in better condition than when it was handed over. After that, word spread like Lagos gossip. Soon, everyone wanted Marian to keep their money. By the next January, she was holding savings for over 20 people. By the following year, 60. By the third year, nearly 100 people depended on her to safeguard their yearly savings, money they had scraped together from January through December. And she never disappointed. Her method was simple but disciplined. She had a small brown hardcover ledger, the type market women used to record goods. But hers was organized like a banker's record: names in alphabetical order, dates written clearly, amounts stamped neatly in blue ink. No smudges, no confusion, no missing information. Her safe, an iron box with 2 locks, sat under her bed. It wasn't big, but it was deep enough to hold envelopes filled with cash. Some people brought 1,000 Nigerian nairas monthly. Some brought 10,000 Nigerian nairas. A few brought 50,000 Nigerian nairas. It didn't matter to her. All that mattered was trust. And Marian guarded that trust like her life depended on it. Every January, when it was time for people to collect their money, the entire community moved with excitement. Market women danced. Tailors smiled as they bought new sewing machines. Okada men paid for bike repairs. Students paid school fees. Everyone entered the new year with relief because Marian had done her job faithfully. And every year they thanked her with small gifts: tomatoes, rice, Ankara fabric, a pair of slippers, even a blender once. But Marian never expected those things. The real reward was being known as the girl whose hand no day shake. But while her reputation climbed, her business struggled. Marian sold luxury wigs, bone straight, pixie curls, bob units, coily bundles, premium hair for premium girls. She marketed on Instagram and WhatsApp, posting pictures daily, offering discounts, begging influencers to tag her. Yet some months were painfully dry. Girls would admire the wigs, use filters to pretend they owned them, and then price a 120,000 Nigerian nairas wig for 35,000 Nigerian nairas. But Marian pushed on. She believed December would change everything. She believed December would bring customers, cash, and maybe even blessings. December, however, brought pressure. By the first week of the month, Lagos transformed into a festival ground. Even the palm trees looked like they were celebrating. Streets were decorated. Music blasted everywhere. Every day, someone was promoting a new concert or party. Her friends, Kosi, Chioma, and Zainab, were already living the life. Kosi bought new outfits every 2 days. Chioma secured 2 invites to VIP events. Zainab changed wigs like she was changing television channels. Every time Marian opened Instagram, she saw girls glowing, slaying, posing, attending events, eating at fancy restaurants, popping drinks, and shouting, "Soft life or nothing." Meanwhile, Marian was simply trying to make it through each week. She wanted to shine too. She wanted to enjoy too. She wanted to look good too. But she had no money. Her personal account was dry. Business sales weren't coming in as expected. And the savings in the iron safe. That money was not hers. Still, the temptation began whispering. One afternoon, as she rearranged her wigs on the wall hooks in her shop, she paused to look at her reflection. She looked plain compared to the girls outside. She looked tired, invisible, left out of life's enjoyment. Her chest tightened. "Why is everybody shining except me?" she whispered. That evening, as she sat in her room, her eyes drifted to the iron safe under her bed. She could almost hear it calling her name. Just small. Just borrow it. You will return it before January. You will sell hair. You will make money. Nobody will know. She shook her head. No. I can't touch it. But the thought returned the next day. And the next. And the next. Every night, she would lie on her bed, listening to distant December music and scrolling through videos of people enjoying concerts she couldn't attend. People she knew. People she didn't know. People using ring lights, soft makeup, glowing skin, and expensive clothes. People living loud. She felt the pressure building. And on December 10th, something shifted inside her. Something small. Something dangerous. For the first time in 3 years, she opened the safe. Just to look. Just to arrange it. Just to convince herself she wasn't going to touch anything. But life knows how to introduce temptation quietly. And when Marian's fingers brushed against the first bundle of cash, a single thought echoed in her mind. Just Nigerian Naira 20000. Nothing will happen. She didn't know it yet. But her life had already changed. The first time Marian removed money from the safe, it felt like touching fire, hot, forbidden, thrilling, and dangerous all at once. Her hands trembled as she counted the exact 20,000 Nigerian nairas she convinced herself she needed. She kept whispering like someone trying to justify a sin while committing it. It's only small, very small. I will put it back, I promise. But people rarely notice when they take their first step into a hole. It's the second step. The third step. That begins the fall. That night, she didn't even spend the money. She kept it in her purse, telling herself she only wanted to have it in case something came up. But deep inside, she knew the truth. She wanted to feel like someone who could spend freely. She wanted to feel included in December. The next morning, she woke up early, dressed neatly, and returned to her shop. But she moved differently. She smiled more. She felt lighter. Almost powerful. And that power was dangerous. Around noon, her friends burst into her shop with excitement, smelling of perfume and confidence. Babes, we're going for Asaki's pre-concert hangout tonight. Chioma shouted as she pushed the door open. We must go together, oh. Marian, don't disgrace us, oh. Zainab added, flipping her curly wig dramatically. Marian laughed weakly. I don't even have what to wear. You sell wigs now. Just install one fine unit, put lip gloss and wear something simple, Kosi said. We'll enjoy ourselves. Enjoy. That same word again. The one that kept chasing her. First she planned to say no. But as her friends begged and hyped her, she felt that 20,000 Nigerian nairas in her purse burning like a reminder. You can go. You can shine too. By evening, she found herself installing a bone-straight wig on her own head, one she had planned to sell for 85,000 Nigerian nairas. She told herself she would still sell it later. After all, she would wear it carefully. She dressed up, applied subtle makeup, and met her friends. And for the first time in many weeks, maybe months, she felt alive. The music was loud. The lights were bright. People were laughing, dancing, recording videos for Instagram, shouting lyrics, taking selfies, and living like January didn't exist. Marian felt like she had been pulled into another world, a world where everyone glittered and she glittered with them. She bought suya. She bought a drink. She took pictures. She posed. She smiled. She forgot her worries. By midnight, she had spent the entire 20,000 Nigerian nairas. She didn't even notice when it finished. It disappeared like smoke blown into the wind. The following morning, the first thing Marian felt was guilt. A heavy, sinking guilt that sat in her stomach and refused to move. But guilt is a tricky thing. If you sit with it long enough, excuses begin to grow around it like weeds. People will buy hair during dirty December, she told herself. I'll restock. I'll make sales. I'll return everything before January. It's not like I'm stealing. I'm just borrowing. And when the first customer that day priced a 95,000 Nigerian nairas wig for 30,000 Nigerian nairas, her hope dropped to her feet. She needed money again. She opened the safe that night. This time, her hands didn't shake as much. She counted 50,000 Nigerian nairas. Just for transportation, new clothes, and maybe packaging myself small, she whispered. She didn't want to look broke around her friends. She didn't want to look like the only one not enjoying December. She didn't want Lagos to happen without her. The next day, she went to Yaba Market and bought a new dress, light makeup products, and a pair of heels she convinced herself were necessary. The money vanished again, and so did the guilt. By the second week of December, Marian had officially entered the December whirlpool. Her friends dragged her everywhere. Wizkid concert, Davido concert, beach fiesta, club night, house party, Detty rave pre-party. Every night had a new event. Every event had new temptations. Transport money, drinks money, outfits money, food money, makeup money, wigs more money, influencer level packaging. Even more money. Sometimes she lied to herself that she was building content for her wig business. But the only thing she was building was debt she couldn't see yet. The safe grew lighter each time she opened it. Lighter, and lighter, and lighter. Until one day, as she counted the bundles again, she paused. "This money donde reduso," she whispered. But another voice, louder, more convincing, pushed the fear aside. "You will refill it. January is far. Don't panic." She believed the voice. 2 days before Christmas, she attended a massive outdoor event. The crowd was huge, the lights were blinding, the excitement was unmatched. Marian felt important, beautiful, and unstoppable. She posted pictures on her story. She danced like she had no worries. She laughed like she had no responsibilities. She acted like the girl with everyone's January savings was not spending it. But when she returned home past 2 a.m., exhausted but happy, she opened her safe again, this time without hesitation, and realized she had dipped far deeper than she intended. Only a fraction of the original money remained. For the first time, fear gripped her. Cold, sharp fear. What have I done? But she shook her head quickly. No. I will replace everything. I still have time. I will sell wigs. December is still ongoing. But even she didn't believe that fully. Because the safe that once felt heavy, now felt like air. And the girl once known for trust was slowly losing herself to December. December 23rd arrived with a kind of energy Lagos rarely sees. Crowded malls, loud horn blasts, flashing Christmas lights, and people moving like they were racing against time. Yet none of the chaos outside compared to the storm quietly growing in Marian's life. With every passing day, the gap inside her iron safe widened. What began as small borrowing had become a pattern she no longer resisted. At first, she counted the money carefully, always aware of how much she was taking. But after the third withdrawal, she began to avoid counting altogether. The sight of the shrinking bundles made her chest tighten. So instead, she closed the safe quickly and told herself she still had time. Time to fix things. Time to make money. Time before January would knock. But time was racing faster than she realized. Marian had built her whole December confidence on one assumption: that her wig sales would skyrocket. Every year, December meant weddings, concerts, parties, outings, and girls buying wigs to look fresh. Wigs were December gold. But this year, the economy had other plans. On Instagram, people were liking, commenting, sharing, but not buying. On WhatsApp, girls were pricing 100,000 Nigerian nairas wigs for 25,000 Nigerian nairas. In her DM, someone said, "Can I pay half now and half in February?" February. Marian's heart sank. One afternoon, she posted a video showcasing a curly bob unit. Within minutes, the comments rolled in. "Beautiful but out of my budget. Do you have something cheaper? A beg reduce price now, it's Christmas period." She wanted to scream. Girls were doing full makeup, slaying, dancing, attending parties, but they didn't want to pay for the hair that made them look good. And the irony stung like pepper in an open wound. Marian herself was wearing wigs from her shop, wigs she should have been selling. She tried to convince herself that posting pictures of her wearing the wigs would attract customers. But deep down, she knew she wasn't influencing. She was simply enjoying what she couldn't afford. By the third week of December, her shop looked full, but her account was empty. Each morning, she opened expecting a customer to walk in and buy something big. Each evening, she closed with frustration weighing down her shoulders. Tomorrow will be better, she told herself daily. But December was running out of tomorrows. Her friends were thriving in the madness of Lagos enjoyment. Kosi went for a boat cruise. Zainab attended a private beach party. Chioma lit her Snapchat with clips from a rooftop event in 6. And each time they stepped out, they called Marian. Babes. No dulling. You must come out. Let's enjoy this December, no time. Marian knew she should stay home. She knew she should protect the little money remaining. She knew she should think about January. But each time she said, "I'm not going," her friends replied with the same line. On, you're too young to be serious like this. You day keep money for old people, are you not tired? This life is 1-0. Enjoy your youth. Enjoyment again. That sweet poison of the Lagos festive season. Before she knew it, Marian was out again, wearing new clothes, installing different wigs, taking pictures, pretending everything was perfect. Concert after concert. Event after event. Party after party. Her December became a blur of lights, sweat, laughter, music, glitter, and expenses she could not afford. Sometimes she felt guilty mid-party, especially when her phone buzzed with messages from savers checking in. Hope everything is going well with the contributions. Just confirming you still have my card. January, I'll come early. Oh. She always replied. Yes, ma. Yes, sir. No problem. But inside her heart squeezed tight. December 27th, she returned home after a long night at Davido's concert, legs aching, head throbbing, ears ringing from speakers that blasted like thunder. She dropped her bag, pulled off her shoes, and sat on the floor breathing heavily. Suddenly, something pushed her to open the safe. A whisper. Nudge. Quiet fear. She bent down, unlocked it. And when she looked inside, her chest froze. There were only a few envelopes left. Thin envelopes. Flat envelopes. She reached into the safe and lifted the bundles. Her fingers felt more paper than money. Her breath hitched. This can't be everything. It can't be. She scattered the envelopes. Counted again. And again. And again. But nothing changed. Her December enjoyment had eaten almost everything. She sat on the cold floor, eyes wide, heart racing, hands shaking. What have I done? What have I really done? But instead of stopping, instead of cutting down, instead of correcting her mistake, she did something tragic, something many people do when they panic. She convinced herself to take more. Let me borrow one last time. I need to package myself for New Year. I must look good. I'll replace it quickly in January. My business will pick up. She took another bundle, closed the safe, and walked away without looking back. But there was something different this time. She didn't smile. She didn't feel excited. She didn't feel alive. She felt scared. Very scared. Because somewhere deep down she knew. She had passed the point of control. December was no longer something she was enjoying. It was something consuming her. January has a strange power in Nigeria, one that December never warns you about. While December glitters with lights, concerts, and excitement, January arrives quietly, but with the force of a heavy hammer. It is the month where reality wakes up, where bills grow wings, where school fees, rent, house provisions, transport fare, and responsibilities line up like soldiers waiting for inspection. And on January 2nd, reality marched straight to Marian's doorstep. Marian woke up late that morning, exhausted from New Year celebrations. Her head still throbbed from the fireworks, the smoke, the loudspeakers, and the chaos of standing for hours at concerts. She stretched slowly, her body aching, and reached for her phone. 10 missed calls. 6 unread messages. Her heart paused. She opened her messages. Happy New Year, Marian. Please, I will be coming for my January money tomorrow. Hope you're around. Good morning. I need my contribution urgently. I'm sending my son to collect it. Please reply. I need to settle my rent this week. Her eyes widened. Her breath grew shallow. She felt heat rise to her face. It was too early. Too soon. She wasn't ready. Her business had not picked up. December had drained her sales instead of boosting them. People were pricing recklessly, and she had used too much of the savings she was meant to protect. She stood up immediately and went straight to the safe. When she opened it, the sight hit her like a slap. Almost nothing inside. Just a few envelopes, few wrinkled notes, scraps of what used to be people's dreams and sacrifices. Her legs weakened and she fell to her knees. No, 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 not now, she whispered, her voice breaking. How will I replace all this? But money does not magically appear because you feel sorry. She began to count the remaining money, hoping she miscalculated earlier. But the truth stayed the same. She could not pay even 5 people back. And there were almost 100 people waiting. Her hands trembled violently. Tears pooled in her eyes. Then her phone rang again. The name flashed on the screen. Auntie Blessing, hair braider. A woman who had saved 150,000 Nigerian nairas with her. A woman who trusted her for 3 years straight. A woman who had told everyone that Marian was the safest person to save with. Marian's stomach tightened. She didn't answer. The phone rang again. And again. And again. She threw it on the bed and held her head in both hands. What am I going to do? How do I fix this? By January 3rd, things escalated. People were calling non-stop. A tailor whose rent was due. A widow who needed school fees for her 3 children. A young man trying to start a business. A motorcycle rider whose bike had broken down. A churchwoman who had saved every month faithfully. Every call had the same message. I'm coming today. Please, I need my money. Hope we can collect our contributions. She stopped replying entirely. Her silence only made them more anxious. By afternoon, neighbors began whispering outside her gate. Has she traveled? No, I saw light in her room yesterday. She's not picking calls, oh. My money is with that girl, what's happening? Better check on her. Marian stayed locked inside, pacing like a trapped animal. She chewed her nails. She prayed. She cried. She tried to calculate how much she could make if she sold all her wigs, but even that wouldn't cover half the missing money. At one point, she knelt beside her bed and whispered, God, please let this be a dream. But it wasn't. The safe was empty. Her bank account was almost empty. Her shop was full of wigs nobody wanted to buy. And January was knocking on her door. At exactly 7:15 a.m., Marian awoke to the sound of voices outside her compound. Not one voice. Not 2. Not 3. Sounded like a crowd. She froze, listening. Knock the gate. Call her again. She must be inside. No one leaves this place until she comes out. Then came the banging. Oh, 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 loud, aggressive, unforgiving. She jumped. Her heart pounded so loudly she could hear it in her ears. Her palms became wet. Someone shouted, Marian, open this gate now. We need our money. January has come, oh. We cannot wait again. You better come out peacefully. Her breath quickened. She grabbed her chest. She wanted to pretend she wasn't home, but they clearly knew she was. Someone else shouted, If she doesn't open this gate, we will break it. Her legs shook uncontrollably. She paced the room 3 times before she finally gathered the courage to step toward the door. Her hand hovered above the lock. She hesitated. Her whole body trembled. Then she opened it. Slowly, fearfully, like someone going to face judgment. As soon as the door swung open, a crowd of almost 20 people rushed toward her, faces tight with frustration, disappointment, and rising anger. Not one person smiled. Some held their contribution cards. Some held their January lists. Some held their children's hands. Everyone held their expectations. Auntie Blessing spoke first. Marian, We have been calling you since yesterday. What is going on? Why are you avoiding us? Marian's lips quivered. Her throat tightened. I will explain, she whispered. Another man stepped forward. Explain. What is there to explain? Give us our money. Today. A chorus followed. Yes. Our money. Give us what we saved. Tears filled her eyes. Her voice cracked. I don't have it. The silence that followed pierced the air. Someone gasped. Someone else shouted, "Ha!" A woman placed her hands on her head. Another held her chest. Auntie Blessing stepped closer, her voice shaking. What did you just say? Marian shook as she spoke. I spent it. She expected shouting. She expected insults. She expected someone to push her. But what happened was worse. They all just stared. Stared with a disappointment so heavy it broke her completely. Her tears fell like rain. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I will pay everything back. Just give me time. Man hissed. A woman wiped her eyes. A young mother said, My children's school fees. Marian, why? Auntie Blessing's voice went flat. We trusted you more than we trusted banks. And this is what you did with our trust. Marian fell to her knees. I didn't mean to. I thought I would replace it. I just borrowed a little at first. Then. Everything went wrong. But excuses don't fix damage. Excuses don't return money. Excuses don't heal broken trust. The people stood there, watching the girl they once trusted dissolve into tears. And January stood behind them, unforgiving, unmoving, unavoidable. The human heart is a fragile thing. It can forgive 100 small mistakes, but betrayal, especially betrayal tied to money, sweat, and sacrifice, cuts deeper than any blade. As Marian knelt before the crowd, tears streaming down her face, she realized that December had not just emptied her safe. It had emptied her integrity. The people who gathered at her door weren't rich. They were hustlers, sufferers, ordinary Nigerians who tightened their belts from January to December so they wouldn't crumble in the new year. Some had sold vegetables under the scorching sun. Some had pushed wheelbarrows through muddy markets. Some had cooked ofada rice for long hours. Others had plaited hair until their fingers ached. These people had struggled quietly so January could be easier. And Marian, trusted Marian, had taken that sacrifice and spent it on a season of enjoyment. Just as the tension grew thicker, the community chairman, Mr. Thompson, arrived. He was a tall man, respected, calm, and known for settling disputes without raising his voice. He walked through the crowd and looked at Marian. His eyes sharp but not hateful. What is happening here? He asked. Voices erupted. Chairman, our money is gone. She said she spent it. Chairman, we saved every month. Look at this. She refused to pick calls since yesterday. My children's school fees, how will I pay now? He raised his hand and the noise slowly died. Then he turned to Marian. Stand up. She obeyed slowly, wiping her tears with shaky hands. Is it true? He asked quietly. Did you spend the money people kept with you? Her voice was barely audible. Yes, I did. How much is left? She swallowed hard. Almost nothing. The crowd burst into shocked murmurs. Someone shouted, God forbid. Another said, This girl has finished us. The chairman remained calm. Why did you do it, Marian? Why? Her chin trembled as she answered. I only borrowed small at first. I planned to return it before January. I thought sales would pick up in December. I thought I could fix it before it became a problem. But everything went wrong. Some people hissed. Others wiped tears. Auntie Blessing simply closed her eyes and shook her head. The chairman sighed deeply. This situation is serious. Very serious. But shouting won't solve it. We need to figure out how these people will get their money back. What came next felt like Judgment Day. From today, the chairman said, You will hand over your shop goods, every wig, every tool, every hair product as collateral. We will calculate the worth, list it, and distribute items to people until their money is recovered." Marian gasped. Her shop, her business, her livelihood, gone. She felt the floor tilt beneath her feet. But sir, if you take everything, how will I earn it back?" she cried. "You should have thought about that before spending money that wasn't yours," a man answered sharply. The chairman continued, "You will also work out a payment plan. For the balance we cannot recover from your goods, you will repay monthly until everything is complete." The crowd murmured in agreement. Marian felt her world cracking like broken glass. Her shop was not just a business, it was her dream, her pride, her source of survival. Losing it felt like losing a part of herself. Still, she had no choice. She nodded slowly. "Okay, I will do it." Later that day, a committee of 5 people followed her to her shop. They opened every drawer, every cupboard. They took inventory. Luxury wigs, headbands, hair dryers, hair straighteners, display mannequins, ring lights, packaging bags, brushes, combs, hair oils, extensions. One by one, they selected items and matched them with contribution amounts. A 65,000 Nigerian nairas wig was given to a woman who saved 65,000 Nigerian nairas. A 20,000 Nigerian nairas hair bundle was given to someone who saved 20,000 Nigerian nairas. A collection of small items was combined to match various amounts. People collected their items with mixed emotions. Some were relieved. Others were disappointed. Some were angry. Others simply shook their heads and walked away silently. Marian stood aside, watching her shop empty out piece by piece. It felt like someone was tearing pages out of a book she had spent years writing. By evening, the shop was almost bare. Only a chair remained. Her signboard hung crookedly. Her walls looked naked. Her dreams felt stripped. She quietly closed the shutters and walked home with slow, heavy steps. When she reached home, she collapsed on her bed and cried until her pillow was soaked. She cried for her mistakes, for her carelessness, for her lost reputation, for the people she hurt, for the business she destroyed. But mostly, she cried because she realized something painful. December enjoyment lasts only for a moment, but consequences last for months, sometimes years. Days passed. People no longer greeted her with smiles. Neighbors whispered as she walked by. Her friends, those who dragged her to concerts, disappeared completely. Her phone became dry. Her shop became quiet. Her heart became heavy. This was the price of broken trust. One morning, after crying again, Marian sat up and wiped her face. "No more running," she whispered. "No more excuses. I will fix this." She went to see the chairman and asked for the list of the remaining balances she owed. It was large, painful, overwhelming, but not impossible. She decided to start again. Not with wigs. Not with flashy things. But with something small, steady, and honest. She began selling simple synthetic hair. She braided little children's hair for 300 Nigerian nairas. She walked around the community, offering affordable touch-ups. She worked from morning till night, earning small money but clean money. People still looked at her with suspicion. But a few began to notice her humility, her consistency, her effort. Slowly, she made her first repayment. Then the second. Then the third. Each one felt like a stone lifted from her chest. Trust is like glass. Once it breaks, you can mend it, but the cracks will always show. Marian learned a lesson that December nearly destroyed her to teach. When people trust you with their money, they are trusting you with their sweat, their sacrifices, their children's future, their survival. Never gamble with people's trust. It is more expensive than any wig, any party, any December enjoyment. And as she rebuilt her life slowly, she whispered a promise to herself. Never again. Full year passed. January came again, but this time it found Marian in a different place, humbled, wiser, and rebuilt from the ground up. Her shop was no longer the luxury hair palace it once was. Now it was modest, organized, and run with strict discipline. Every naira had purpose. Every sale had accountability. Every customer received honesty. The community that once looked at her with disappointment slowly began to nod in respect again. Not because she was perfect, but because she didn't hide from her mistakes, she confronted them. By November, she had paid back almost all the remaining contributions she owed. Each repayment brought her peace. Each thank you from the people she hurt felt like healing poured into old wounds. And when December returned, the season that once drowned her, Marian did something bold. She locked her safe. She avoided temptation. She focused on work, discipline, and savings. Her friends called her to join them for concerts again. She smiled and shook her head. This year, I choose sense over shine. In quiet moments, she would sit in her small shop, watching customers walk in and out, and she would whisper, "God, thank you for second chances." Her life wasn't perfect, but it was honest. And that honesty, slowly but surely, restored the trust she once lost. Because the true meaning of growth is not living without mistakes. It is learning never to repeat the ones that almost destroyed you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, tell us what you think of the story and where you are watching from in the comment. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Bye for now.